Welcome back, everybody, to LARPs and TARPs, talk about E3 of Empire 2022. I think we finished off last week just post-battle.
We were just eating a delicious post-battle meal at Moorish.
We just spoke about Green 69, I think.
Green 69. Was it the best 69 of your life?
Yes, it was, definitely.
Good to know.
Number one 69 in my life. Definitely the greenest.
Shrek would be happy.
Horrendous thing for you to say. Horrendous.
I feel this conversation's getting a little bit too intimate.
This has got very blue very quickly.
Sorry, this is Uncle Nietzsche unmasked. Under the mask, shall I say.
No, that's your late night talk show. We've discussed this. So yeah, I don't know where to start really.
Well, we should probably just have a disclaimer. We do have Studio Dog today, so please forgive us for pitter-patters, squeakers.
I think she has just chilled out though, so I think hopefully we should be okay.
She looks like she's just napping now.
Thank God.
She just had a mad 5 minutes before this podcast.
It's because she's a mad dog. Cool. So Moorish. So we kind of finished up with Emil there, but I think, did I head straight off to Dawn after that?
I think you did, because we went off towards the League.
I went to go to the
Lorenzo's
auction at Magpies.
Let's start with that first, shall we?
Okay. So, yes, I went to the auction at Magpie's Magical Tent. Don't know if that's his official name, but he's a very magical man, it feels like. So it feels like he should have a magical tent.
So was it the auction was at his tent?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe he got given or sold very cheaply a big, I think it's probably about 10-person tent that his friend won in a raffle.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. That's
Wow.
cool.
So it was great for like a great magical emporium with a lot of storage. The auction, it was a very interesting auction. Everyone got like a little bidding number.
Did you have one?
Well, I came late to the auction, so until I bidded for an item, I didn't get one. But yeah, missed the start of the auction. But there was a lot of bidding for little bits and pieces going on. So I remember a pair of pants got sold for a crown.
Lorenzo's pants for £1.
Well, I don't know if they're definitely Lorenzo's pants, but
I'd like... was the point, that they were selling all
I don't think the stuff before, like the last few things were Lorenzo's. But in my head canon, I like to think they were all Lorenzo's things. But yeah, it was all selling like potions, different bits of equipment, magical items. I believe there was some building materials on sale. I myself actually bidded for an important potion.
Did you win?
I was the only one to bid, so yes.
Excellent.
Everyone feared flashing cash against Uncle Nietzsche and the repercussions of beating him, so that's my head canon of why no one bid against him.
Not that you probably paid too much for it.
I think I got a very reasonable price.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, so if you've listened to the previous episode about the battle, you will know it was super hellish and I got downed about 3 times. Something was needed, something in case of a big emergency. And it just so happens that Magpie was selling, and this is what I'm telling myself, that it was Lorenzo's personal sovereign specific.
Oh, do you think?
I like to think it is.
Didn't fucking help him in the end, did it?
No.
This is the thing, it's such an expensive... This is the thing, it's such an expensive potion that you don't want to drink it because you've spent that much money on it.
Yeah, but if it's the Reaper that kills you off the bat, do you really have time to drink a potion?
No, you don't.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
All the money in the world can save.
So, I believe it's one of the best potions in Empire, or definitely a mid-tier potion.
I think it cures everything.
It's a high-tier health potion.
It cures cleaving, weakness, impale,
you can ignore
poison,
Venom,
sorry.
You can ignore traumatic wounds.
Might cure poisons. Oh, can you ignore traumatic wounds as well?
Well, temporarily, like until you get off the battlefield.
Okay, and it puts you up to full hit points as well. Ooh. So it's one of the potions that I like to consider break in case of emergency. So I'm thinking of putting, this was recommended to me, put it on a chain, put the fizz rep around your neck, and just point, if you're down, feed me this potion, because it will save my life.
Yeah. So, once you've taken a potion, how long does it last?
So this potion, I think its effects are instantaneous. Can't remember how long, if Kerry's right, that I can't be weakness, was it?
Well, no, it would basically clear all the weakness or whatever effects he's got. It would give him back all of his hit points. In terms of the temporarily ignore traumatic wounds, I'm not quite sure how long that lasts, but I assume it'd be till you get off the battlefield or something.
Well, because
you might look into that.
Typically, traumatic wounds are if not addressed within this amount of time, it's a problem, right?
Yes,
so it might
but then
extend that time, maybe.
Yeah, but I think you have. I think it's half an hour or a couple of hours or something before you would die from a traumatic wound anyway, depending on what it is.
The one I got was within 4 hours you start to feel sick.
Yeah.
And then if you haven't had this dealt with half an hour before timeout, CRF, which I think just means you die.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But anyway, I think I got it for a very good price. I bought it for a throne. So for a lot of more experienced players, that's chump change. But for me, that was a third of my income. So I think for my business this time, I got a throne, 2 crowns, 6 rings, and a couple of bits of green iron.
So how is it a third of your income?
No.
A third of what I've got in my current.
Oh, I see.
But
I was
it was pretty much all my income I got from this time.
Yeah.
So it was a big investment, but I think for me, it was like a milestone. It was I've got a sovereign specific.
So
Yeah, that is a milestone, because for context, I haven't yet made a throne. Kerry, you've only just recently made a throne.
And as an apothecary, it's my goal to make a sovereign specific at some point.
Yeah, it obviously depends on what, is it called resources?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What resources you have, but it's a big thing if you're a fairly new player.
as a farmer, I've had several thrones.
It's alright for some.
I like to feel if I burn through all my hero points, I do have a get out of jail free card with the sovereign specific. So I'm hoping it'll be worth every penny.
As long as there's someone there to feed it to you.
Exactly. Hopefully Mr. Salt will be there to just put it in my mouth and just...
Yeah, that's probably worth telling people. If you're on 0 hits, you can't administer a potion to yourself.
This is where it's made out of something non-edible and he actually pours it down your throat.
Have you got the fizz wrap for it as well?
Yeah. Magpie let me keep the fizz wrap.
Nice.
Obviously, it's not drinkable, but...
It's beautiful though. It's got glitter in it.
Can I suggest you replace it for a shot of vodka or something?
Yes.
It would last, and it might just get you going again.
Perk you up.
Excellent.
But I kind of wanted to, it's a shame you can't feed it to yourself, because I picture myself 2 clean arms, just kind of shimmering it up my body and trying to just, drink it.
I can just imagine you wiggling around like a caterpillar.
But yeah, there was a lot of cool items on a sale at Lorenzo's auction, but the big one, well, there was 2 big ones. One was Lorenzo's doublet. So for those who do not know, Lorenzo, I think, was the richest player in Empire for quite a few times until he died at E1.
Yes, he was.
What's a doublet?
A doublet's an item of clothing you wear, like a jacket in the league. But his doublet had 12 thrown pieces stitched as buttons.
Holy shit.
I think you mentioned that before.
Unfortunately, that did not sell. Because there was a retainer on it for 30 thrones. So it couldn't have been the case where you would purchase it and then, I bought 12 thrones for a throne, for example.
Yeah.
That's so crazy that his fucking jacket had thrones for buttons.
Yeah, it's fucking great,
That's
isn't
disgusting.
it? I think all the money that would have been made selling it was going to charity.
Oh.
I can't remember what charity it was. There was one that was going to the charity of the Little Mother.
In-game charity.
Yeah, that's why it was going to the charity.
Charities.
Can you imagine being an out-of-character company getting a bunch of fucking fake coins? Here's our donation. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I think it was to the Church of the Little Mother that one was
I
going.
did not know there was in-game charities.
Well, yeah, what? Why? How? What?
I don't know if it's a charity, but that's where the money was going to. It was like a charity option.
I guess that makes sense, because I know that in Dawn there's the Lady of the Prophet Hand who looks after slaves, so I don't know if it helps them do projects and stuff.
On Empire Wiki, I'm now going to put in the search bar charities and see what comes up.
Just a quick thing before we keep recording in. We're not going to mention how much was allegedly in the box.
I didn't think about it. I was going to leave it to you anyway.
Cool.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
But the jacket didn't... Well, the... what was it?
Doublet.
Doublet did not sell. Obviously, I think Magpie put the retainer on. But the thing that the people were there to buy was the mystery box. So story is, inside the mystery box was Lorenzo's codpiece.
Not when it was up for auction, was it?
Well, yeah.
Or did we just Or was that possibly one of the things that would be in it?
No, the codpiece was in it. But
but there was other things as well.
Well, we don't know what was in the box because no one's seen what's in the box.
It's a bit like Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to be in the box. Could be 50p, could be
But
£1,000.
the story is that Lorenzo's codpiece was in the box, and the story goes that he's had various amounts of money attached to the codpiece at any given point.
What, like with the doublet?
Yes. So he's had, at one stage, a couple of rings attached. Another
to
time...
his codpiece.
Yes.
Fuck this man. What the fuck?
Well, this is the stories I understand it.
So does the money go up and down because of...
I don't know. I don't know the story.
It's
Just
gonna
the
make a
amount
joke
of money
about
he wants
prostitutes,
next to his
sorry.
dick,
Yeah.
I guess.
I'm literally imagining a man now in like sexy underwear that is just all coin.
Yeah.
Like that is my only
Complete
image in
with
my
like
head.
a bralette made
Yeah.
of coin.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think there's been a stage where there's been like 5 throne pieces attached. Is there 5 throne pieces? I think there is 5 throne pieces. Anyway, the number goes up and up and up until this legend has it. At one stage, there was 2 100 throne pieces attached to this cod piece.
Wow.
Okay.
No way.
So instead of having like a money jar where you put your spare change in,
Yeah,
my
that's what I was
understanding is he
thinking.
put it on his clothes, namely sexy underwear.
Yeah, the coin cock. Is that, what
A coinage cock.
is that a roll in your quarters in your pocket? Or are you just
Yeah.
happy to see me? Both.
So I think this is where...
You want to mug me?
Take it. I dare you. Catch me first.
What are you going to do? Shoot me? Jingle jangle.
Oh, fucking hell.
Cutting out.
No, I disagree. Keep it in. Tom.
Yeah.
Anyway, where was I? So,
Cod pieces.
cod...
Coin cocks, I think.
Concocks, yes. So, the starting bid for the coin cock, I think, was quite a high buy-in. So, I think it was at least 4 thrones to get the buy-in, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And then it turned into a bidding war between a Brass Coast family and I believe it was the Crimson Reapers.
Oh, wow.
Don't know if I can name a name, but too late now. But yes, the bidding war went on, and it was great to see it just getting higher and higher amounts of money. And as you know, a throne for us new players is a lot of money. I believe the bidding was just getting more and more intense. It stopped at 26 thrones, and I believe they came to an arrangement they would split the cost if they could both see what's inside and split what's inside.
Oh.
Find out in the field what was in the box. I guess,
Yeah,
'cause that was-
unfortunately, only Magpie, who's dead, and the 2 people who purchased the box know what's inside for certain.
I've heard rumours, but I don't want to say.
I've heard rumours, but you'll just have to go to one of those places and find out what's in there. I would kill to know what's in
Ask
that box.
around. It'd be interesting.
That's crazy.
Again, my brain has just gone to a Deal or No Deal box where they open it and it's got sexy coin underwear in it.
I like they just lift it up. What the fuck is this?
To be fair, it's such a power move just to know what's in that box now. You could get such great game from it, I feel.
But yeah, no, that sounds.
So that's what I did straight after Moorish. What did you guys get up to?
Not anything nearly as interesting as that, I think.
We wandered round. So I remember because we definitely went to the marches after this because.
Oh, did we go straight away?
So what happened was I went to after the battle.
We had Moorish.
After the battle, I went back to Dawn,
Oh, yeah.
took off all my kit,
That's right.
and then just waited around, waiting for the dearly departed Roderick.
I'm just picturing you just standing there nude at your tent door,
Yeah,
just waiting for
absolutely.
Roderick to funeral to go
Roderick,
past.
come back.
That was it. We did go shopping because you'd been waiting.
Yes, I was just going to say
Roderick.
that. So
Yes.
I'd been waiting for Roderick to come back, and I was really concerned, didn't know where he was. And eventually we went off. But usually I'm wearing like a tunic and stuff. I just went out. Literally, I had my antlers on. I was still wearing my flower crown, and then just my shirt. I felt like I was.
So no pants.
No, and my black trousers.
Are you going to talk about how we saw someone who we thought looked like Roderick?
Yes, I am going to talk to that. You keep interrupting me. I'm getting
but
there.
I thought we saw them before we went to
No,
marches.
yeah, I'm not at the marches yet.
Sorry.
He's still in his underwear at this
I'm
point.
still in my pants.
Okay, sorry.
No, yeah, because we
He's in
literally.
his pants.
This is going to be the giddiest one we've done. Maybe on par with Apothecary.
Oh, I love.
What skill do you need to be an apothecary again?
Cherugan. Chewbaccan.
I was wearing my shirt, kind of like, I felt very underdressed compared to what I usually wear. And we were swaggering off, and I went past one tent, and there was, funnily enough, I'm pretty sure the guy who was playing him was at least a Roderick. I can't remember if he still was. No, he was. And I went to wave to him, and he just kind of shook his head, and I went,
when I saw him, he like drew a line across his neck and was just like shaking his head. I was like, oh.
No, so this was someone else. So I kept walking on. This was another person. I was like, oh, I've lost someone, a different Roderick. I was like, I wonder where Roderick that I was talking to loads. Well, the other Roderick's gone. And we were walking, and we kind of came up to him. I was like, oh, I saw him, and I went to look at him, and he just shook his head, and I went, oh.
No, he didn't. You said Roderick, and he went,
Yeah.
And we were like,
who's that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, and we were like walking back to camp. I was like, fuck. Which was awful.
I've got a question. Is Morgan still alive?
Morgan is still alive.
Oh, he survived the
Morgan-
actual
He's
session
here.
of Empire.
Morgan the Briar exists still, despite it being 3 events. He's only had 3 characters.
Ooh.
Yeah, crazy.
He's unlucky number 3.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
could be lucky number 3. It could be third time lucky.
Yeah.
This could be it now.
Settle into it.
Now that he's had to be fair, he's bought a mask and everything, so it's like, let's hope it
I think he's
works
adjusted it now. It looks like a different kind
Let's
of
put a
Briar.
bounty on his head, make it a bit more interesting on the anvil.
How much bounty is that we can afford? Like a 10-ring bounty.
Well, if we cash in another bounty first, and then...
Oh, okay.
Anyway, despicable plans aside, we kept walking because we were looking for... Because you had your... Have we spoke about your dog project yet on the podcast?
No. So, on the Book of Faces, which is what we call it in character, but out of character it's Facebook, someone posted, would anyone be interested in doing dog breeds of Empire? They had seen it being mentioned before and was asking for more information on that. Unfortunately, the person who had tried to do it before, their character had died, so it was a project that just had reached a loose end.
I'm sensing this is a big problem in Empire contractors. There's just everyone keeps dropping down dead.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you start a project and then you can't fulfill it because you've just died. Yeah, so she decided to take the project on. I messaged her and said I was interested in thinking of some dog breeds. So in my downtime, that's what I did. I researched some real dog breeds and kind of tried to translate them over to Empire. And we arranged to meet up in character in the Marches, which is where we're at now. I think that's enough information.
Yeah, so we set off to marchers and we were like, right, we need to find this person. And I think we must have asked every marcher where this person was.
Can I just say, partly because Morgan / Tristan was dressed very underdressed as a Dornish person.
The only Dornish thing I was wearing was my flower crown and my accent.
Everyone was so kind. Like, they could just hear us walking around going, oh, do you think that's them there? Or, you know, like, kind of wandering around, sounding a bit lost. And there must have been about 3 or 4 people, maybe more than that, who were like, oh, can I help? And so helpful, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
I mean, they pointed us in all sorts of directions, and we went here, there, and everywhere. Ended up outside someone's tent and was told, oh, unfortunately, they're getting changed at the moment, so to come back later. But I really appreciated it. It was a really nice feeling in their camp, wasn't it?
Well, just imagine if Morgan was actually in his Dornish gear.
My favourite thing was because everyone was relatively nice when we were there. I got a couple of... It's funny because I did get a couple of looks. A couple of people were talking to you and then giving me like a look, trying to work it out. You could tell. Until one person, the guy we were talking to, goes, are you Dornish? I went, he goes, we don't really like the Dornish over here. And then when we were just leaving, we were just going, see, I told you they're not very nice.
well, at least they're honest.
They just didn't know who I was. But yeah, everyone was really helpful.
I need to visit the Marchers. I've not been to the Marcher camp yet, really.
It's fun. It's very
It's
Marcher.
nice. It is actually really nice. Like, you go there and people are really helpful, and if they've got like an event on, it looks really good. So
yeah, they had a carnival thing, didn't they? I really wanted to go to that.
it was a summer fair.
Okay.
It's very medieval England. That's the whole
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty nice. I think maybe I liked it so much because I come from a village. Maybe it just felt like a bit like home.
I've always said I think Morgan's more of a marcher, but Tristan's Dornish to his core. But it was really fun. I don't mean this in like a patronising way, but it feels really quaint. It's like a quaint English town vibe as you go around. But it's also really funny because I loved it. It was really cute little pubs and this and that. And then we got to like, there was like a little square that you could go in to recharge your batteries. Tristan was just kind of looking at it going, I don't know if I trust this marcher nonsense because you're telling me to go in that square and I'm worried I'm going to die.
I really want to see more of the creepy marcher side because I know it's there.
Yeah. I think that's what makes it more disturbing, that it's on the surface it is really quaint and everyone's really friendly.
So it's like hot fuzz.
For the greater good.
I think the thing I was told, it was like the Wicker Man as well. It's that kind of vibe. Well, they used to do like literal Wicker Man festivals, didn't they?
I feel like it's very like Varushka kind of witchery, but if you're playing The Witcher 3 and you go through one of the Velen villages with all the peasants like, are you a witcher, sir? My wife's fallen down a well.
Yeah, you know, I really wanted to go and sit down and meet some Varushkans, but then someone told me that if I sat down in the wrong place, then I might end up dead in Varushka.
Yeah. You just have to, if they invite you to eat, you have to accept it. Because otherwise you could be a monster.
Yeah.
What if it's not vegan?
Ooh. Well, I guess you're probably a monster then.
Maybe you just mind eating.
Or you could just say, do you have any vegan options?
Yeah.
I think because I don't know the tradition well enough, but I imagine if they're like, if you have bread and water, that's at least like, I guess.
Have bread and water.
I guess that's kind of the
But
thing.
that's only if you go into their camp after a certain time, isn't it?
I think it's just their camp full stop. I think.
I don't think
This could just be full
I mean,
on.
to be fair, none of us are well versed in Varushkan traditions.
'Cause I think it's like
we might be just all making this up as we go along.
Yeah.
We were rating the nations by which ones I wanted to join. I think Varushka was in my top 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
kind of want to be a marcher.
I'm very shallow. I'm very interested in the clothes. I like the embroidery that the Varushkans have. I'd be like, yes, that's a very strong reason for me to join.
That little
caravan.
gypsy caravan.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, because we
so
walked
cute.
through Varushka to get to the marches. But yeah, we eventually got to a point where you knew you were going to meet them again later, didn't you? Basically.
Yeah, I knew I was going at least, so that's something.
Which worked. And then I can't remember. Honestly, most of Saturday's a bit of a blur for me. I know that I can't remember if this was before or after. I think it was at this time when I was assisting someone. I was assisting Lady Lordine with a bunch of stuff. So we were running around talking to ambassadors. I think most of that happened on the Sunday, to be fair, but we did a bit of we were looking for the ambassador to Yarm to find out some details. Basically, she's like an advisor, like a virtuous advisor.
What, Lady Lordine?
Lady Lordine's like something Imperial consul. So we went to go see the ambassador to Yarm, but he was busy in the Senate. And then we went to speak to this. Oh yeah, this was before because we went to the Navarr to speak to the. Oh, not the archpriest. What are they called? Who's archpriest? Like the head of vigilance.
Sounds right.
Cardinal.
Cardinal.
Went to go speak to the Cardinal of Vigilance because we had some information that I don't want to talk about on the podcast, but there was some information that they were passing around, some research that uncovered something. But that was really cool, to be fair, because I was following around. I was very much like, I have nothing to do in particular, but I'd like to see what aspects of the game I don't really know about. So I was like, I'll tag along. We'll look at like the religion and politics aspect. Really cool, really interesting to kind of...
Yeah, to be fair, I'd be quite interested in looking into the religion side of things. Like, not religious at all in real life, but I like the way sounds really interesting.
The religion game is sick. I am very tempted to either come back as a priest or dip my toes into priest a bit later down the line. But it is really cool, really interesting. And because I think, especially, you come from the real world where religion's a very different thing.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I was going to say, for those who don't know, being a priest in the game doesn't mean, you take a vow of chastity or, or you don't drink or, there's nothing like that in it. It's very different. Yeah.
Let me hit you with my vigilance body pillow.
the priest aspect is very different. It's kind of it's more like religion in England and Europe in the the 14th, 15th century when it was politics. It was the archbishops and popes of the archbishops and the pope of different countries kind of doing stuff. And that's how it kind of feels. It all feels very political.
I'll have to admit, hearing more about the priest game and the way from the Noobs at LARP episode, I'm torn now. If Uncle Nietzsche dies, do I go physic or do I go evangelical, crazy street preacher of the way?
Priest of the way. I feel like you said prosperity priest would be funny.
Prosperity or maybe ambition?
I think it's funny though, because I mean, there's definitely different routes you can take. Because they were saying whether you can be political, you can be just an advisor, you can be very like zealous.
I just love the idea of points in like hero, but zealous preacher as well, and just charging off into battle, screaming my lungs out.
That should be a skill battle priest.
Changing all my money at the beginning of the game and just throwing coins at orcs rapidly.
But yeah, that was a lot of my evening. It was really cool, and it was cool to be listening to hushed conversations around campfires of kind of like the political game and stuff. I was like, this is all very fucking intense. And then also hearing little snippets of like history that's not on the wiki that people know. I'm like, wait, what? It's like, because there's someone told us the history of Dawn, which I don't really want to say here because you can discover it in game. But I was listening to people like, oh, this history of Dawn. I was like, what? Because I've done a full episode on the history of Dawn, and I was like, oh, so the stuff that's not on the wiki, like it's like other stuff in the Eldor library.
As if, I mean, the wiki's so massive as it is.
There's more.
And there's more.
It's like like I say, it's like you go to the library and there's like really deep lore on where the different nations have come from, what they've been doing, and like
That hardly seems fair because you only have a weekend. You have your whole library just trying to find out everything.
Yeah, but you can buy books from the library as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Does that include like one-off texts or like ones that aren't like newspapers?
I
and
guess so.
periodicals?
I don't know.
Do they
Really.
sell Empire Smut there?
Not in the library.
Probably not, but they are working on a smut
That's
library.
censorship.
Someone's working on a smut library, aren't they?
Well, they want to get a Smut library passed through Senate, I believe.
I think they'll do it.
What nation's that?
I have no idea, but I'm jealous.
But then the other thing I know was going on, there was a big fancy meal happening in Dawn with some very intense themes going on. But there's going to be a cocktail party later, which is where I told multiple people to meet me,
Yes.
including
We did
you guys. So
eventually,
what have you
didn't
been
we?
up to in the kind of interview?
Oh, Kerry,
hours?
you haven't spoken yet, shall
Yeah. So I loitered around near you with the auction for a little bit, but then I went off to try and sell some potions and
Yeah, you didn't see anything that was particularly appealing to you.
no, yeah.
Go to the
What-
herb option.
That was on
apothecary
the
auction.
Sunday.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't an apothecary auction, it was just an auction where I knew I could find some herbs, but
Oh.
that was on the Sunday anyway. So I wandered off to try and sell some potions, didn't really have much success with that. And eventually we found our ways to the Boar's Head, and we were helping sort of watch the stall a little bit whilst the owners went and did various bits.
I've seen photos of that. That looked really good.
I had a hell of a lot of fun flogging their
So
alcohol.
much fun.
Any listeners who do go to the Boar Head, any heretical statements I said were on my head and not the owners of the Boar Head.
Though I don't think he's too bothered. I mean, the stuff he was saying about orcs. In character,
that was,
obviously.
yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later. But
Yeah.
what was the one, my line that got a lot of curiosity in the alcohol was, alcohol so good that it will speed your soul through the labyrinth.
Yeah. And then one of the orcs asked if it would help them jump the abyss as well.
I was like, I don't know about that, but it might give you a soul.
Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you? I forgot you said that. Oh, my God.
To be fair, he had a laugh and had a drink.
Yeah, he was very good humoured. I think most people are. I mean,
Yeah.
depends. You don't want.
Particularly orcs.
Yeah,
like,
either that or your name is now on a fucking list.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
probably everyone's list.
His
at the
name must
moment.
be on a list
just
or something.
called an orc soulless.
yeah, he laughed politely. And
Well, he has a soul
eventually
now.
faded out.
Because he
You're
drank
gonna
from the
get toilet
Boar's Head.
tracks now.
He drank that sweet, sweet elderflower cider.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was even flogging because obviously they have non-alcoholic drinks. So even kids that walk past, they'd be like, "Here you go. Would you like a non-alcoholic beverage from this tavern?"
You have to pay for it though, child.
No, the non-alcoholic one's free.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the rest of the bars with prosperity prices, I was quite chuffed at myself. I managed to sell a couple of drinks for 2 crowns.
Oh,
Did you?
I would just like to
Nice.
say that it's very un-Nietzsche of you to not charge children.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not my bar.
Doesn't matter. You should have said, because the bar stay was free, to give it to them for free,
to
charge
be
them 5
fair-
rings and keep the cash.
Kids make so
Kids make
Kids
bang.
make-
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
money.
Honestly, the amount of kids that came to try and sell me things, and I couldn't bring up my confidence to speak to anyone anyway and try and sell things. And I'm there struggling to talk to people, and this kid's like, "Hey, do you want to buy this?" And I'm like, "No, but you're cute."
I'm
tempted to just
literally
have
like,
kids to make money at
yes,
Empire.
like
Yeah.
I literally I will give you all my money.
Do you not have any like relatives that you could adopt for the weekend and you
My
could
little
just
brother
make
and
money?
sister, my little brother and sister's response to me telling them about LARPing was literally one word:
Nerd.
bit cringe. That's
That's
I mean,
two
that's
words,
two, but
oh right, fine.
which is in itself a bit cringe.
They just kind of went cringe.
I think one of my highlights of the Boar's Head, though, was one of the two owners' characters died on the field that day.
That's a highlight for you.
No. The aftermath
His,
is a highlight.
His villain character, though, who will not be back next season, so you can't lynch him.
Yeah.
Was I can't remember his name, but
He
was
played the dad.
He played the dad
Because they
who
were
is a
brothers.
very anti-orc man.
Well, he felt he was going on about how orcs should be slaves and stuff like that.
and weren't they very near the orc?
Yeah,
camp
they were.
as well?
They're literally across from the orc camp.
He was
They're-
saying how they set the business up to keep an eye on the orc camp. He says the Navarr had the right idea by surrounding the orc camp in
Yeah.
case they get any
'Cause
ideas.
the Navarr camp just happens to be like around the orc camp, and the orc camp's kind of in the middle.
He played such good game.
Yeah,
There was
honestly.
a couple of people who sat down there. He was going through his whole anti-orc spiel, and just seeing some of the players' faces go bright red
Hands
and like
white knuckled.
Yeah. He was saying at one point, he's like, I hate being this. I hate playing this
Yeah.
character, but
Honestly, I didn't know what to say when he started talking about it to me. I was looking at him like, like my social anxiety.
That's
Like, I don't
nice.
want to disagree with you because social anxiety and this is just a game. But also, what the fuck are you saying?
when we went on Sunday, I think there was a couple of people who started agreeing with him because the orcs did not take the field.
Oh yeah.
And I think-
no,
This
stirring
is getting
things
into
up.
Sunday.
Yeah,
though.
this
But
is
it was that his character was such a highlight for me. I remember sitting down to
was
him,
bold.
him talking about his anti-orc views, and then talk Uncle Nietzsche's theories about the Valorn to this one Navarr guy. And you could see the poor young lad's face getting redder and redder, not knowing what type of scenario he's walked in.
He's
on.
like, I'm in the wrong bar.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, Uncle Nietzsche has nothing against orcs. He's perfectly fine
Oh,
with
yeah.
them. He just loves the Boar's Head alcohol so much. So it was a lot of fun for me just to be a bar stall tender for about an hour whilst
Yeah.
they went off and did other character stuff.
And so at the same time, we're sort of as he was doing this, I was helping you with it for a bit, but then I ended up getting roped into manning the stall in the Navarr kit for them as well. So for about 2 hours, I was sat with like a few bottles of booze and some trinkets. Trying to remember how much everything cost because nothing was labelled, and trying to peddle it to anyone who would walk by, which was quite good because I hadn't actually had much game up until that point. And funnily enough, someone came over asking me if I was an apothecary because they were making a list of Navarri apothecaries, and I was like, I'm very clearly a Brass Coast person. But yeah, sure. But I was with an apothecary from Navarre, so that's why I was
Nice.
like, yeah, add him to the list. And that was quite good because then there was some action going on as well around us because you were there with me for a bit as well, weren't you?
Yeah, once the barman returned, I went to see how you were doing because I had a bit of time to kill before I had to go to a meeting. But in the Navarre kit, there was all kind of little bits going on, and I believe Talus Ashbourne was there with his magnificent bubbles.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
His face and his showmanship really was so fantastic. Seeing the little kids all play with the
There
bubbles.
was at one point a little sort of maybe 4-year-old running around with these giant bubbles, and the bubbles were almost as big as the child, and the look
my
on
God.
this little kid's face was just like,
That's amazing.
But I don't know what it says about my personality, but I don't know if it's Tom getting jealous at Uncle Nietzsche, but he had to have a go with these bubbles.
yeah.
So I went to approach Talus in the most Nietzsche theory thing I could think of. I was like, excuse me, sir. How did you, Navarri, capture these souls? These are souls
spirits.
flying around, right? Representation going towards the labyrinth, you pulled them out right? And it's like, no, sir, this is alchemy. And he gave a really good counter spiel.
Oh, it was beautiful.
I even let me try and blow some bubbles, which I completely failed at the first time, but the second time round I got it.
It looked like it was harder than it looked because I saw someone else giving it a go as well, and it took her a little bit of time to properly get it going. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think my highlight probably from that day possibly was when after the 2 hours the dad character came to like clear away the stall and stuff, And it was also the Festival of Broken Wheel, which in the Brass Coast is like the one time you can lie, and it's a bit of a pranky kind of festival. And I didn't really know how I was going to act that out in character because I hadn't really like found my feet, especially in character anyway. But this guy was so. It's hard not to joke around with him because he was like. I was telling him how much I'd sold, and I'd mentioned that I sold one of my potions because I had my potions on the stall at the same time. And he was like, "Oh, well, how much commission are we getting for that then?" And I was like, "Oh, well, no, you got to give me a commission and whatever." And as he was taking things back, we got back to the actual bar, and he'd carried the crate back because I had my potions crate, obviously. And then he was like, "Oh, why didn't you carry this? That wasn't very good." And I was like, "I did. I just passed it back to you. You said you were going to give me 4 crowns for carrying that." And it was just little things like that because he kept trying to get money out of me. And I was like, no, you said you were going to pay me.
Did he pay you?
No. Well, I did get paid for my time, but obviously not 4 crowns. I got paid £1 an hour for manning the stall.
Nice.
And I got a free drink while I was on it as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, though a wasp did fly into my free drink.
That's
so
horrendous.
that is awful. Yeah. Though it did give me an opportunity to sell my potions as well. And as I say, I did manage to sell one of them, which I only managed to sell 4 potions the entire weekend, and 2 of them were to you and Nietzsche. So.
Well, you did sell one on the stall, didn't you? You sold
Yeah, so
one of your
one on the
anti-venom.
And then I managed to sell one. It might have been the Sunday actually, and I also sold some herbs when we were loitering around in the Navarr kit waiting for the coctopus. Because as we were doing as I was sat at the Navarr kit, we heard someone saying that the coctopus was going to be played there, which is a play run by some freeborns that we've heard about from the LARP's Noobs podcast, and we were very excited to see.
It just very much sounded like you said, like, LARP nude. And I was like, that sounds like
There's a LARP
Sorry, did I mispronounce that? Sorry. Yes, the LARP nudes.
Yeah,
Sorry, that's
we
the Smut Library.
somehow met up again. I can't remember.
I think we came to find you because we had a bit of time to kill before it happened. So
Yeah.
we came to see if we could find anybody and brought you back there.
Yeah, with Saturday being a bit of a blur, I think you still had stuff to do.
Yeah.
So we all like met up again, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think before I met you guys, though, I actually had
You were still
a
at that
meeting
meeting, yeah.
at 4 o'clock. I was like, yep, once the meeting's done, I get the night off and we'll go and do that sort of stuff. So at 4 o'clock, the League National Block had a little meeting where we got everyone in the block was invited for a little bit of a social, just get to know each other, discuss how the battle went. It did feel very serious this time because of how the battle went on Saturday.
Well, the battle went really well.
Oh, we won,
Oh, wait, no, yeah.
but it was a hard-pressed win.
quite a few casualties, weren't there?
So I think,
Weren't you forgotten about?
allegedly, the National Block
The
was...
League National Block forgotten about? No, surely not.
It's like the people who carry the team just get forgotten at the end. It's such a shame.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great idea. It gets the whole of like the league's main military block to know each other. Creates a much more of a camaraderie kind of vibe. A lot of this one was discussing what we could do better in future battles. So I think we did a lot of discussing about running. I think in the battle the running was really strange in between messengers because our general got like 2 conflicting orders within 20 seconds.
Oh.
I think he even said at one point a runner came up to him, gave him this order, but the field marshal was close enough to say, "Did you actually say that?" She's like, "No."
That's so weird.
So the orders on Saturday were apparently really skew.
That's no good.
Yeah.
So we were discussing how we can get league-ish orders filtered throughout the national block more efficiently with less bullshit involved.
Yeah, I mean, I know one particular runner, and if you're listening, you'll know who you are. I won't name and shame them. Who first time they were a runner was at E1, and they literally took the wrong message. So they were supposed to say, what were they supposed to say? They were supposed to say something like, "We need you for backup," and what they actually said was, "We're coming as backup,"
Oh no.
Oh, Christ!
which was not a mix-up you want to make.
I would be mortified.
I have no idea. We frequently remind her about it, but it was...
Oh,
I would be mortified.
half the population. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Have been
That's a
discounted from this.
That's a mistake.
we've narrowed it down.
That's a mistake that can cost you a battle.
Oh, that was rough.
Well, it turned out the League this time had a magical, mythical runner who was really good, was really fantastic with getting the orders across to and from the Field Marshal to the General, survived the battle, but once the battle was done, he just disappeared and we never saw him again for the rest of the event.
That's crazy.
So weird.
So he's like the mythical, legendary messenger that really did us really
Never-
good.
It was just the
Seen
freeborn doing the whole Broken Wheel festival thing, pretending to be a Leagueish man. Because
Yeah.
obviously we're way better at a lot of things.
Obviously.
Oh, let's talk how many people died on Sunday, shall we? From Brass Ghost.
Yeah, let's talk about that, shall we?
We'll do that tomorrow.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
later,
We'll
yeah.
talk about how we annihilated the freeborn tomorrow.
But yeah, the meeting was really good. They provided all drinks there, biscuits and whatnot, kept us water and fed. We were discussing about what we could do better in training. I think our skirmish captain was stepping down, so we wanted to see who would want to rise the occasion and become the new skirmish captain. So these meetings, I think, are really, really valuable to be concise, hard-hitting military unit.
It's a good game as well, isn't it?
It's a good game. Good game. Good game. Good game.
Good game.
Team. Good work, team. It was great. There was a bit that was like, so, out of the national block, who's coming on the really important Leagueish skirmish tonight? And everyone around the table put their hands up except me and Mr. Salt, who were just like sinking down behind the table.
They had a very important show to watch.
The coq de pouce.
Well, there was multiple reasons. One of the main ones being I had COVID a couple of weeks before and my breathing wasn't too good at the time.
8 of those reasons for the different legs of the octopus.
There was the octopus as well. There was also the fact that being the only 2 representatives of the Jolly Jackdaws, we did not want to get wiped out before we really got the guild off the ground. Because we've got
Yeah,
quite a few
fair.
more members next time and we're going to be taking so many more skirmishes. But this time we just did not want the guild
So-
and its master to be wiped out in one hit.
If you die, will Mr. Salt take over, or will it be your friend who was in the black and green?
We're going to be discussing this next session.
Definitely
The,
have a little Jolly Jackdaw meeting.
Yeah, we're going to be having a little meeting at one of the pubs, but we're going to be discussing who's going to be taking over my rank if I die or step down.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually.
But the reason we said we weren't going is if all you lot die, there needs to be someone alive to dig the graves and train the next national block.
Very bleak.
So Salt's going to dig the graves and you're going to train the next national block.
Well, I got busy working
I
at the
feel like-
boar's head again.
I feel like Salt being like the second in command for every leader would be a very kind of like he's wizard and old from looking after so many
yeah.
fucking
I also
Leagueish.
love how stoic he is. Like how he plays it is really good.
It's
Just to fluff up your ego if you're listening, Salt.
yeah.
I can't wait till next time because I'm going to have Salt as my left-hand man and I'm going to have Reiner as my right-hand man. So I've got my bodyguard on one side and my accountant on the other.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's like Brains and Brawn are like, you know,
And then Tom as well.
and then Tom.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Tom.
I'm very much looking forward to the next event. So Morgan, do you have anything else to add before we get onto the Coctopus fun?
I think I'll probably talk about my only, not of the event, which was my experience at the Sentinel Gate. I've actually spoken to PD about this and we've kind of had a chat about it going forward, but I just thought it was worth pointing out because it'd just be good to know, just to give feedback on what I heard, and it'd be interesting to hear if other people think the
I
same
hear
thing.
a lot of people had the same issue as you, or
Yeah.
quite a few.
So, for those that we have spoken about, for those you don't know, there is something called skirmishes, which are minor conjunctions, like smaller battles that happen over the course of the weekend.
You can die in those.
You can die in all of them, but they're very deadly, yeah. And so I had a few that I wanted to go on, but as fate would had it, I was only able to go on one in the end. So I got to one.
I'm
and-
glad you got to one.
No.
Oh no.
I got to one that I was thinking of going on, too full. So I was like, it's fine. I didn't get bounced. I was like, this is too full. I was like, that's fine. I'll go on the next one. So I left, came back pretty early, getting ready for the next one. People started to arrive. We queued up. And then we got to the Sentinel Gate. I got bounced. So that's the second skirmish I wasn't able to go on. There was one right
So it's
after.
bounced when there's too many of you.
Sorry, yeah. So bounced is like as you're all going through the gate, and then the refs or the gate magically stopped someone going through, and I got bounced twice right at the front.
That's so annoying.
And so that was 3 skirmishes I tried to go on, wasn't able to, and it was really annoying, especially because I was with the lady that plays Lady Lordine, and she wears plate, so you've got to get all that on, which takes ages. I was wearing chainmail, which is heavy and doesn't take as long, but it's still annoying to get on.
You have to still take precious minutes out of your roleplay to get into your armour.
So I was at the Sentinel Gate for like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's a lot of lost time.
A lot of time I had lost. Just really annoying trying to get through. There was one last skirmish to go on, but I wasn't really bothered by it. And I didn't really know anyone that was going on it. It's dangerous to go on a skirmish where you're not with people that know you.
Yeah,
because
I'd say
get
you
left
want
behind.
at least 5 or 6 people from the same nation who are going to have your back.
Yeah, exactly. There was people from my nation, but just I know them well, and I was kind of like, I don't want to die on a skirmish I don't really care about.
Yeah.
With people that don't know you.
People that don't know me that aren't going to risk anything.
That
to
would be
save me.
heartbreaking, wouldn't it?
And I just kind of was like, I was talking to the person I was with, and we were both really good. I was like, I don't think it's worth it. It was really good, and it wasted a lot of time, and I don't know what the solution is. So speaking to PD, we were talking about like sign-up sheets feel a bit out of character.
I think it's just with the massive influx of new players.
Yeah,
They've
but
got to just...
it's how do you do it? Because I know the one format
Wasn't it that it had changed recently how they'd done it?
Yeah, well,
Is that right?
it used to be, I think, that it would be like they'd release the minor conjunctions and they'd be like, this is relevant to this nation, so the skirmish captain of this nation will do it. But now it's more a case of, okay, so this particular skirmish is relevant to this particular person and they will be the skirmish captain, irrelevant of all this. And it was like they're in charge of organising it. And it just feels a bit more chaotic. It feels a bit more... It was just frustrating because I wasn't able to get on any of the skirmishes I wanted to get on.
I don't think you could go by nation because then you need a load more for Navarr and Wintermark with how big their nation is to get.
Yeah, I
everyone
don't
a
know.
chance.
And the thing is, it was. I was saying this in my emails. I was like, this is very much just. I don't have any solutions to this. I just know, and I think
It's
this
just more feedback, isn't
Well,
it? That you found it was an issue.
exactly. And they said that to me. I said to them, hey, just so you know, like, I'm not. I absolutely love the game. I had an amazing weekend. This is the only thing that I didn't have fun with that like made me go. That was kind of like not on me. Do you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
like, this is stuff that's happened around the game. I was like, I love the game. I love it. I just thought you'd be worth. And they were like, absolutely, it's good to know how people are feeling. So I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what's best moving forward.
It's a lot of skirmishes. Some seem more popular than others. Like the one I got onto the Friday night was only a small 20-man one.
Yeah.
Or 20-person one, should I say. But I think we need at least 10 people from the league to get on that one. So it swings and roundabouts with what you can do.
I just don't know how I think one solution is maybe someone who's in charge of it has to get a list of names that are going, but then you end up with this one person knows 25 people, they always bring them, and then maybe some extras, which is shit for people that don't know the game.
Yeah, because our friend Jack, when he was at Navarr, he encountered that as being an issue.
Yeah.
So he went. I think it was a skirmish. Must have been. He wanted to go on a skirmish, but it turns out that everyone who wanted to go on a skirmish had all signed up and sorted it on Friday, and he hadn't realised. So when he'd got there, everyone was like, they were like, "Oh no, we've already sorted out who's going."
Yeah.
So
I don't know what the solution is. Basically, I guess that's the thing. It's like there's problems either way. Hopefully, they're able to work something out.
It'd be great if they had like a big fish tank and you put your ping pong ball in it and count the ping pong balls.
I was saying, I mean, this is probably the argument, it's not very in character, but I think you should put your name and
Into the goblet of fire.
what your skill is, whether you're like an archer or a mage, and have them in like separate hats, and then pull them out of the hat. So you've still got it's well represented. So you've not just got like 5 mages going in.
Yeah.
I was going to say, could you imagine a slaughter battle where you just sent all physics to the front and that's it?
Even if you had like the skirmish captain has like, right, you have to find 60 people to come on this. You need to reserve 10 slots for new people who are new to Anvil.
Yeah, that's a good
Or new
idea.
to skirmishing.
But everyone else can be whoever you want.
That'd be the honesty policy though, because you wouldn't want an experienced player game.
A lot of Anvil is about honesty policy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But I just think having
Yeah.
something like that, so it's like, right, okay, so this is our team. You can invite people you know, but it's kind of like, please, you have, like you say, an honesty thing. It's like you have to reserve a spot for new players that want to join. If they don't join, fine, whatever. You fill the gaps. And if people don't turn up, I feel like you're absolutely let's put a black mark next to their name just to be like, unfortunately,
I
unless
suppose you can always have people, on a waiting list sort of thing.
Yeah, you could have people. You could say, well, you're on a reserve, so just so you know, you might
maybe
get
show
up, but
up
you
and just
might
say.
not get on.
yeah, but
Any
not,
solution's just gonna be so time consuming.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky to sort
Unfortunately,
out.
we do live in the real world.
Yeah.
And the real world has inconveniences.
but
and-
nonetheless, after 2 hours at the Sentinel Gate and no fighting, I was pretty
Yeah.
miffed. Which is, to be honest, in part why I ended up doing a lot of the politics stuff with Lady Lordine, because I was like,
Yeah.
I want to do some game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have game, so I'm going to follow you and find some game with you.
Whether
you
you
might-
like it or not.
Because you
Yeah.
might as well have just been loitering with us in Navarr since you were just standing around.
Yeah,
in your armour.
exactly. But then had a really fun evening being an aide, and then went back to the glorious because we said I kept saying so House Degov. I always worry I'm going to get this wrong. House Degovane were having a cocktail party, and I was like, hey folks, there's a cocktail party at Degovane. I think you're fine to come.
I like that.
I like that.
think.
Yes,
Yeah, I
was
think
like,
you did say you might not get in, so just show up.
I
and hope
do
for the
love the
best.
Yeah.
strange look when you rock up to an official party with your travelling companions from all over the
It's
empire.
so funny. I'm like, hi, this is my Winterfolk friend, this is my Freeborn friend, and this is
Yeah, because they were giving out
Uncle.
cocktails for free, and I had to insist on paying them as a freeborn. I was like, no, I'm going to give you 5
that's
rings.
so good.
This is my Navarri friend. This is my
Yeah.
Leaguish
Yeah.
best friend forever.
I think my favourite thing is that some people do know who you because I talk about you, and they
Yeah.
go, "Oh, this is Uncle Deitch." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, this
I
is
love
Uncle
that.
Deitch."
Famous Uncle Neat.
I think we need to start talking about Tristan in the league camp and make his name
And how
a bit famous.
dashingly handsome and capable he is.
Yes, that's definitely
Never
how
meet
we
you
will
and be
phrase it.
really disappointed.
Oh,
Rude.
Just put a poster of Tristan with just like knives sticking out of it on a notice board.
yeah.
me and Jack, who also plays the Changeling, have both we blame everything we do on the Summer Realm. So you know how there's that thing going around which was like, "Oh, thanks Obama." When Obama was
Yeah.
president, now we just think, "Thanks Summer Realm." Like every time something goes wrong, "Thanks Summer Realm."
like
Cheers.
Hashtag just changeling things.
Whenever we're angry or vain or arrogant, "Thanks Summer Realm." Not my fault.
So all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how do
It's me.
How did you find the politics game then?
Sick. I kind of already spoke about it, but it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Don't want to talk about too
You
much
can't
stuff.
really go into too much
No,
detail,
I can't.
can you?
But I
Awesome.
love that. I love that you keep telling us like, oh, there's all this stuff, but I can't tell you.
Yeah, the stuff.
It's just fun to see you so like at the brim of low.
Just stop blue ballsing us, man.
Oh, dude, it's a fucking.
I feel like he's the one who's blue ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So Emma, what did you do in the afternoon?
I can't remember where we got up to. I think last time I spoke about going to March since she wasn't there. So I think I met up with you briefly. I think we might have done a little bit of shopping from what I remember.
I think that was Sunday, wasn't it? I mean, to be fair, I think every day
I got my cape. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, you were there as well for that.
Yeah. I
think very briefly.
Yeah, somewhere in there. That's what we did. I think I had a bit of a wander around with Morgan/Tristan. And then I think we got back to our tent and you had something important to do. I think it might have been Lady Lordine was looking for you, so you went off to do your
Could have been.
political game stuff. Me and reincarnated Jean.
Oh
who
yeah,
was-
Roderick. Someone who looked
who
very
was
similar
one-
to Roderick.
Yeah, who was once Roderick.
One of the Rodericks.
Yes. We went to March Camp because he wanted to see what was happening with the summer fair, and I wanted to see if I could catch up with my dog breeds friend. So yeah, we headed off to the March Camp. Myself and the dog breeds friend, we had a very productive chat. It was really nice. We're both just super excited about dogs because who isn't? We were sort of like saying stuff in character and then being like, I'm thinking of a corgi, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And like kind of like trying to describe our breeds, but also being like, just so you know, this is like what I mean.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. We had a nice chat. She kind of showed me a little bit of the Marchers camp, and then we went our separate ways, and then don't know what happened in between, but then I went to the Artisans Guild meeting, which was really interesting. There's some really useful information that came out of that actually helped Morgan's game, and the lady who plays Lady Laudine's game later on.
I feel like we need to get this Lady Laudine on the podcast. She seems to have more of a mention than the rest of us put together.
She's doing some very
she
interesting
does some really
things.
cool stuff. So I had some like really interesting information that I thought, I'm gonna stow that away and maybe mention that to a couple of people later, just to help my game later on. A lot of game is just like having a bit of gossip.
That's a good point. I forgot there's an apothecary guild actually, so I should really get into that to get myself a bit more game. Yeah, I should really check out the apothecary guild actually, because I kind of forgot that they were there, because there's like a membership fee to be there. So when I first heard that, I was like, oh, never mind. But then now that I've got a bit more money, I feel like I wouldn't mind, because it's not expensive, I don't think.
Well, I don't know if it's like this with the Apothecary Guild, but with the Artisans Guild, for the first year, you get it free.
Okay.
And with ours, it's to do with having access mostly to the commission book. So anyone can attend the general meeting. And it's more to do with, like, you've got access to customers, I suppose.
Is the Apothecary Guild and the Artisan Guild, are they in the same tent still?
Yeah.
'Cause they were,
Yeah. And I think the Artisans one is before the Apothecary one.
Okay, so
I
it's
think
just
they follow
after.
straight into straight into the next one.
I'll ask around at E4.
Yeah, no, it's worth going. And I like it too because you see all sorts of different people there. So there's like everyone of every nation. When
Yeah, I love that.
When I went to E1, there was like people crafting there as well, and I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And what was useful as well is with me finding it quite hard to approach people and kind of like, I don't want to just out of the blue being like, do you want some iridescent gloaming, which is like a resource I have, which seems very
I'm
random.
picturing SD now with a big mat coat. Hey kid,
Yeah.
it's gloaming.
Or just like running up to someone, grabbing them by the collar and being like, buy some iridescent gloaming from me.
Please.
They kind of said, we're running low on iridescent gloaming, so if anyone wants to do a trade, and I was like, yes. So I like literally got there like straight away after the meeting, like, I'm gonna sell my iridescent gloaming. Like no one has, like, if anyone gets in front of me, I'm gonna be very upset.
I think I definitely have to get into the Apothecary Guild, because I had no idea who to sell what to. And I was like, I need to sell things. I'm walking around with my little stall.
You had a bag of all sorts of shit by the end of the weekend.
Well, all sorts of shit that I need.
Oh,
can
no.
I just say?
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean that like derogatorily. You just remember looked in and was like, oh my god, there's like orichalcum in here. There's all sorts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
all you have is like rings and thrones and crowns, but we actually have
Oh yeah,
product.
all I
Yeah,
have is
right.
rings and thrones and crowds. How sad.
Yeah, but in your pack, it's a lot more exciting.
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
true.
you literally get like a slip of paper and some money, don't you? Whereas we get like loads
fat
of
pack.
I mean, I just get herbs, but still.
Mine is
Yeah.
like...
I know exactly what I'm going to get as well, because it's the same every time.
Yeah, I mean, I only get iridescent gloaming, but
Ah, fair.
it's still exciting.
Yeah, because you've got actually a physical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has like a little butterfly symbol on. I love it.
Yeah,
So
cute.
yeah, I kind of did a trade and got orichalcum and I can't remember what the other one was. The only thing I couldn't get was dragon bone.
Jack was trying to sell Dragon Ball all weekend.
Well, I was trying to find you at that for that auction because they were
Everyone
selling all that
wants it.
stuff.
I was asking everywhere. Like, you know, I'd overhear people and say, "Oh, have you got dragon bone?" And they'd be like, "Oh no, I've just sold my last
I
stuff."
think he uploaded it to the Boar's Head, if I remember correctly, for price or a little under.
Oh,
So
maybe you should ask them to sell you something.
I feel
'Cause
like
they seem to buy and sell
I can't
everything.
believe that we.
That's so
That's
funny.
hilarious. That
Fuck's
anyway.
sake.
That's life, I
oh,
suppose.
it was a Jack or
It might not have been.
it might have
Jack.
been Mr. Salt actually. Yes, Mr. Salt had Dragon Bone.
No way. Oh well.
That's slightly less annoying than if it was Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, I only met Salt like once. Or
Yeah,
twice.
exactly.
So yeah, we come to the coctopus, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, the tail end of the coctopus, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
Oh, as it were.
Just the tip.
We'd literally heard that it was going to be on at about 7 or half 7, and we weren't sure which. So we got there for 7
This is within the Navarr kit.
in the Navarr kit, and then we thought we'd get ourselves a drink and sit down and wait for it.
We were in good time.
Yeah, we got there nice and early.
Can I just say, you were like at your peak, like
Oh yes.
in this Navarr camp. Like you did loads of deals, but then
Yeah, because I'd had a bit to drink, so my confidence had really like. I'd had a bit of game, a bit of alcohol, and I was like, I can talk to people.
yeah,
I can do this.
You really like managed to get some good
I
stuff.
sold some herbs. I sold a potion.
Lapita's going to be there E4 with a 10 a.m. can of Stella.
You know what? Yeah, I might just have to be drunk the entire weekend.
Just get some,
Anxiety.
get some march of courage down you.
Yeah, self-medication. Why
You'll
not?
come away absolutely loaded.
Exactly, on the Monday, I'm like, I'm glad I've booked it up. Oh my God. And I also had the best moment of my life with that drink that we got.
Honestly, I didn't even have it, and I felt like it
Do
was
you remember
almost
what the
the highlight
bar was
of my
called?
weekend.
Yeah.
It was the Drunken Goose.
The Drunken Goose, sort of cocktail bar or tavern,
Yeah.
whatever, in Navarr, right next to where they do the songs and story time, their little
Story circle.
story circle, yeah. And they do so many drinks, because you wanted something like a rum and coke, which they had on the menu, so
I
I got you
played
that.
it safe, which was I regretted.
And then after
but
you'd ordered it, I noticed.
yeah, Kerry was bawling.
Yeah,
so
it was chocolate
I-
milk, coffee, and vodka, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, and you were bawling,
Yeah.
so you
We're
just
gonna
bought
go
all my
back.
drinks,
So
didn't you?
we've now decided to, out of character, have a night where we get chocolate milk drunk.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. But also, we'll definitely be going back there next time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying chocolate milk and vodka and coffee. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what a combo. I
Oh,
might
it's
just be having
beautiful.
that during the day.
Just like a frappe with a bit of vodka.
Yeah. Frappe with a kick.
But then the most exciting part of the Cocktaburst was where we almost entirely missed it, and then realised that it had been going on behind us for, half an hour maybe?
Or however long it's like,
Yeah.
wait a second. There's a lot of noise over there. There's a lot of brass coasters freeborn in that corner.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
I think we came in at the perfect time though, because
Don't spoil
No,
it.
we haven't.
no.
Well, yeah, what
So,
were you gonna say?
Because we got there was a big crowd, and everyone let us go to the front. Clearly felt sorry for us because we'd missed most of it.
Yeah.
And we
And we're all short.
We saw the climax, let's just say, and the ending, and I felt like that was the most
I
important.
actually got
Yeah.
to see the physical representation
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
Cocktaburst.
I was
and that's-
mostly, after hearing the, what are they called?
Lap noobs.
LARP noobs, sorry, without saying, because I always want to call them noobs at LARP.
So that's because their introduction used to start with the narrator going, now to hear what's happened with the noobs at LARP. But the podcast is
okay.
actually called the LARP Noobs podcast.
That's why I keep getting confused then. After hearing them talk about the Cocktaburst, and they didn't give any details, which we shall not give any further details, but I was dying to see what it looked like.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the real thing, wasn't it? It was our curiosity to see
I'm
what the
hoping
Cocktaburst
for you
looks
guys, you'll get to see their other production,
The
the
Dildodos.
Dildodos, because I've seen the production of the Dildodos, and that's a hell of a play.
I should have
Is
thought
it?
to try and wait around and talk to some of the people who were involved in it, because I'd love to get involved into that sort of thing as well.
What, just be
Like
on
get-
the stage?
Yeah, I want.
Chucky milk drunk and get on stage.
Yeah, get Chucky milk drunk, do a sexually innuendoed play. That sounds like a great time.
For some context, the night before, we were talking about the Friday night, and I didn't mention this in the first episode, but I bring it up now. I was chatting with a few people, and there was someone I hadn't met before, whose character name is Lucille, and we were chatting away. We've been chatting with the late Roderick about his perspective on the way. So his perspective of courage is just do it, innit?
Just
And his wisdom was just know it, innit? We were just like a howling, thinking of the different
Prosperity
versions.
is just spend it.
Just spend it in it. We were in stitches. It was really funny. And I was sitting across from this guy, and he was like, "What's your, I'm looking at becoming a troubadour. Do you know one that would be interested in one?" And we were kind of talking about it, and I was like, it was really cool because I had this really long, I was saying this later, I was like this really long in-character conversation about the nature of the troubadour and how important they are to Danish culture. And it's like, a troubadour should pick a person that inspires them, whose story inspires them. And I said, he was kind of saying, do you know anyone that would want one? I said, I don't think there is a single knight in all of Dawn that would turn down the opportunity to have someone dedicated to telling their tales. So I think it's more about you working out what stories you want to tell. And I said, find somebody who inspires you. I told them about To Have and To Roll, their story of love, because I think that might be quite a cool story.
that's a very cool story.
And I also talked about my story. I was kind of like, not to be biased, but this is me. And I was talking about how Tristan came from like a humble upbringing, moved through stuff, lots of stuff you could find out in game if you talk to me. And then where I'm wanting to be and where I'm wanting to go. And we're kind of talking about it's like you need to find a story that inspires you to write tales, sing songs, write poems, that kind of thing. And it was literally probably talking about half an hour, 45 minutes about a fucking fictional world about fictional archetypes, but my heart was in it. His heart was really, really intensely talking about this. And then later on, just before the fight, the next day, on Saturday, Lucille comes to me and goes, I might need to speak to you later. Where can I find you? I said, well, if I survive this battle, Degavain are having a cocktail party at 9:30. So I'll be there, so you can meet me there. Also, I had a Yo-folk friend.
Yeah. Lots of friends for Sir Tristan.
I had a Yo-folk friend who was doing a favour for me, which I can't say too much about. And I said, I'll be at the Degavain tent about 9:30 for a cocktail party. See me there. Forgot and then said this to both of them. I got very caught up with a lot of stuff. And then we all rocked up after being from the Star Bar, turned up to the Glory Square. And I said, first person I see is Lucy. I was like, Tristan, are you free? I was like, oh, yes, of course. Sorry, I'm so sorry, of course. And we start talking. And then my Yo-folk friend goes, Tristan, we were supposed to meet half an hour ago. I went, how have I become so popular? I was like, oh yeah, it's poor time management. So I was kind of like...
It's just a shame you're not this popular in the real world.
Yeah, it's a shame. But I said, look, can I please speak to you in a moment? I just need to speak to this guy and then I'll speak to you. And they were like, yeah, absolutely fine. So they kind of backed off and then I spoke to Lucille and I had this awesome moment where he asked if he could be my troubadour and I was like,
Aww.
Yes. Oh, it was amazing.
It felt like a marriage proposal.
It was
honestly,
a beautiful
very
moment.
romantic.
She get a marriage proposal almost every time because he offered you a ring. He gave you a ring you want.
Yeah, that's true. And then E2 was full of proposals. People
And you
kept
were
ringing
like,
with roses.
are you a hugging man? Can I give you a hug?
It was beautiful.
Very cute.
So now I have a troubadour who is on the road with Tristan to Zenith as we speak to fight the Druge and tell my
I
tales.
kind of want to fight your troubadour against my accountant. Just like a monkey knife fight with a
No,
blindfold.
I would never disrespect my troubadour to call them a monkey at the monkey knife fight. That says all I need to know about how Uncle Nietzsche sees his the people
Love
that
you,
work for him.
Rainer.
And then I spoke to this other Yo-folk person, Emeris, and we were kind of like, they were doing a favour for me. I apologised to them profusely for being late.
They were miffed.
They were miffed, but they also provided me some wonderful information and then continued with us for the rest of the night. But yeah, that was a real highlight for my weekend was Tristan came away with the troubadour and we're going to have a chat about what that relationship looks like, what kind of stories there are. I need to send my backstory so they can spin me a glorious tale and what kind of battles we have on the road and stuff. And then the rest of the night was mostly drinking.
Thank you for listening to LARPs and Tarps, and we'll be back next week for part 2.